Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest Little Godzillas on This Day podcast. Well, I was teasing this earlier today on my community tab, the idea that I was going to bring back this series here. The last time I touched this was about a year and a half or so ago, and the reason why I wanted to bring this back is because, real quickly, there's so many fascinating news articles that happen on a daily basis. Some happy news, some sad news, some stuff that's interesting, other stuff that's just downright bizarre, that I thought about I would bring this back and then share this here, but with a twist. Last time I was doing it more on the lines of on this day in history, so and so happened. This time, though, I'm going to talk about purely current stuff that's happening either today or maybe within the past couple of days, and then give my own thoughts on this. And I'm going to try to do it around 3 topics per video. So this may be a daily video of sorts, or this may be multiple times a week. I don't know yet. Just depends on how many views this series gets and then how interesting this is for you all. I'd love to hear your comments on this. So let's start off then with this inaugural or reintroduction of this series. And this video, I'm going to talk about the new Hellboy trailer, which was just released the other day. And then also I'm going to talk about a fascinating trend that was happening with the so-called death of Marvel Comics. And then finally, I'm going to talk about Luke Perry and of course his recent death as well. And so I'm going to dedicate a small portion of this video to him. So first topic, in this case, the new Hellboy Red Band trailer. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I'll include the link below, which by the way, I'll do on a lot of these topics. If there's an article and a link for it, then I'll include it below as well. This was a trailer that was just released the other day, and it is absolutely fantastic. I loved it. You're going to look at some stills of the trailer here. This definitely hits the park when it comes to this, to making it exciting, and makes me want to see this movie all of a sudden. The first trailer outright sucked. Like the first one that came out a couple of months back was a joke. Everyone pretty much lambasted that trailer. This one, though, a complete 180 degrees. I mean, it has some fantastic special effects. It has a great theme on it too. I mean, it's almost like it's reintroducing Hellboy, but in a familiar way, because obviously we have the previous 2 movies that came out a couple of years back. This one makes it seem like it's once again like a brand new world, but one that we visited, but here in another universe, if that makes sense. So here we're going to have a retread on a lot of Hellboy type stuff, like in this case, the father, of course, that's going to be within the movie, and then you have the birth of Hellboy, but then there's going to be some new ideas placed as well. Like, for example, the beautiful Mila Jovovich. I'm hoping I her last name correctly, but I was surprised again that she's in this film, considering how little she was in the other trailer. So it was a welcome sight to see her, just absolutely stunning, and it's great to see her take on a villainous role in this case. But everything seems to be amped with this film, not just because of the Red Band trailer. I mean, clearly there's multiple shots of stuff being dismembered, and then also just chaos and blood. I don't know if that's going to play too heavily in the film, but it definitely showed its fair case here in the trailer. But also it seems like there's a lot of fantastical like fantasy stuff that's happening too. You have the reintroduction of Hellboy as almost like the bringer of doom for the entire world. You see him riding that giant dragon of sorts too, and then you have what looks like apocalyptic type end of the world once again. Something happening where something like either Mila's character or someone else is bringing along some kind of doom, and it's up to him to finish it. And they're introducing a new cast of characters. I don't know who those people are, either actor-wise or their character-wise, but they look interesting. They look fascinating, especially that guy that turns into that leopard. So someone will have to fill me in on who that is too. So great job in this case with the new Hellboy trailer. I'm very excited to see the film. It's going to come out soon, sometime in April. So what a great way to be able to do this. I have a feeling though that this is not going to be the big hit that the studio is hoping for. I hope I'm wrong, but it doesn't feel that way. But still, it'll be great to at least visit this universe one more time. Now, the second story happens to do with the so-called death of Marvel Comics. So there was this idea, and it all started from Bleeding Cool they posted an article, and I'll include that link below here as well. They stated that there's an upcoming panel at South by Southwest that's being hosted by the editor-in-chief, Joe Quesada, and the idea is this. This panel is going to focus on the importance of Marvel Comics and how it translates to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it's a big of a stretch, but the article was stating that this could be almost like a final plea to show, hey, this is how important it is to keep the comics going. Why was the article written that way? Well, there's this idea there that they're stating that Disney is all about the money. They love the money, they love making money, and they love staying in the profit. Well, Marvel Comics has been bleeding money, apparently, for the longest time. Not just Marvel, but the whole industry. There's almost like a crisis going on right now in the comic book industry. Stores are closing more than 10%. Apparently in the last year, and eventually it'll get to a point where if there's enough small number of stores and that's it, then there's not enough sellable comics to sustain the entire industry. So the notion is this, that there's going to be some kind of, I would say, day of reckoning or come to Jesus moment when it comes to Marvel Comics, because Disney might either decide, hey, we're going to go ahead and keep printing these comics even though they're losing us money, or B, we're just outright going to cancel them. Or even there's C, another option. We're just not going to do it in-house, and we're not going to make it ourselves. Instead, we're going to license it to another party, maybe IDW, maybe Dynamite Comics, who knows. And then they'll be able to print the comics for us. They take all the expenses. We collect royalties for it. And there's that idea there. So everybody started suddenly talking about that. I'm talking about this here too. So if the article wanted to go ahead and do something like in terms of creating a viral topic, they definitely did it with this. Of course, Marvel Comics is not going away. It's never going to, it's going to take a lot for it to go down. Never say never. Remember, Sears, and then also Blockbuster Video, and then Circuit City, all those other stores, to name a few, that suddenly were the big ones back then in the heyday. All of them are going under. Toys R Us is another example too. So the Marvel Comics definitely faces that. But considering how strong the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, I have a feeling that it'll still be going on. Will there be some kind of downsizing? Of course. Like, that's probably the closest thing that'll happen here. But as far as it like going completely under, there's no way. These characters are too far ingrained in American pop culture, with Spider-Man, with X-Men, with Captain America, with Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Punisher, to name a few. All these comics, all these characters, they'll still exist in some way. I do believe that there could be something more along the lines where it'll be something like pure online comics only, maybe subscription comics only, trade paperback type comics, maybe even like that idea of just doing it through a third party, through licensing it out. So that could happen, yes, but it's not going to be for a good while. I don't know about the retail stores though, the comic book stores. That's a whole other story that I'll save for another video. But yes, as far as my notion, no, nothing's going to happen with Marvel Comics. It's going to still be here. It's going to still stay strong. And as Joe Quesada just put up on a Twitter, sometimes a panel is just a panel. That's all it is. So some people are reading far too much into this. And then finally, a bit of a tragic news, in this case, the death of Luke Perry. I'm actually sad to say that I didn't really know much of his work. It seemed like he was a really great guy. Lots of people that knew him talked about him today as a really good positive note. It goes to show that you could make all the money in the world, you could have all the fame, but how do people talk about you after you die? That's going to be something that's the true lasting legacy. And it seemed like he was just a good guy, consummate professional, always there for people. Very good stuff. So in this case, him passing away at the young age of 52 definitely hits home, how some things like just happen like that, like a snap right out of the blue. So I don't know much of his work, unfortunately, but I do know two of the items that I've seen him in. Number one is, of course, The Fifth Element, Lilo Multipass, that famous movie where he was in the opening, almost like cameo type scene. Great scene that he was in, pretty much set the tone for the entire film. So having him in there was really, really memorable. I read somewhere that he wanted to be in that because he wanted to break away from the typecast type, the role that he was constantly being put in about the pretty boy who was always like chasing girls or something along those lines. No, in this case, he wanted to be in that film as completely something different. So it was great to read that information. But I know him more because of my days watching The Simpsons. He was Krusty the Clown's, what was it, stepbrother or half brother? One of those two. And he was there showing up Krusty throughout multiple parts of the episode. There's even that famous part at the end where he gets catapulted or something shot from some kind of rocket, and then he lands within a nice, like he goes through several buildings like a running gag of painful buildings with painful stuff in them, and then he finally lands in a nice building filled with pillows, and then of course it's set for demolition, and so it kind of takes him out. So that's how much I know him, my most favorable moments of him from Fifth Element and then also from The Simpsons. So if anybody has any other comments on the topics that I mentioned, please do so. And as well, rest in peace, Luke Perry for your tragic news today. Rest in peace, sir. And then thank you for the amazing work that you did. The brief stuff that I've known from him, but still, it was very lasting. So, any comments on the Hellboy trailer? What do you guys think as far as the new Red Band trailer? Is it gonna make some money? Is it gonna tank? Let me know. The death of Marvel Comics, is it gonna happen anytime soon? That'll be interesting to hear your comments on. And as always, if you want to do a dedication to Luke Perry as well, please do so below. But what do you guys think? That's in essence the video of Lil Godzilla's On This Day podcast. That's what I'm going to try to target, around 2 to 3 topics, give my thoughts on them, post the links, and then you'll be able to share your comments on that too. I'm excited to hear what you guys think of this reintroduction of this series. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.